Walking into the church, I was presented with the sight of the stained glass window illuminated beautifully by the lighthouse beam. They lined up perfectly. Pressing the button, I noticed something had changed in the stained glass window. Whatever mechanical process it used was a mystery to me, but pressing the button caused the panes of glass to tilt ever so slightly, so that the white light from the fort was split into 4 different colors that seemed to dance around the window. As soon as the plates in the stained glass window clicked into place, forming a translucent cross at the center, I heard a rumble behind me, the sound of antique machinery somewhere beneath the stone floor. The uneven stone staircase descended beneath the church into a dark, narrow tunnel. Inside each arch were countless skulls embedded into the rock face, their empty eyes staring at me. I didn't dare begin trying to calculate how many dead bodies it would take to produce such a corridor, or where they came from. Inside each arch were countless skulls embedded into the rock face, their empty eyes staring at me. I didn't dare begin trying to calculate how many dead bodies it would take to produce such a corridor, or where they came from. Inside each arch were countless skulls embedded into the rock face. I didn't dare begin trying to calculate how many dead bodies it would take to produce such a corridor, or where they came from. The passageway twisted far away from the church, finally emerging in a round room lit only by a pale shaft of moonlight filtering through a narrow hole above. Tombs surrounded me in solemn silence. I had found the sanctuary crypt. I couldn't reach the chandelier. As I examined the alcoves inside the crypt, I realized one of them was different. While the others opened up to funerary altars, this one had been sealed up with bricks. An imposing wrought iron chandelier hung above the crypt. As I examined the alcoves inside the crypt, I realized one of them was different. While the others opened up to funerary altars, this one had been sealed up with bricks. The brickwork was crumbling, and although I couldn't dislodge it with my bare hands, I could tell it wouldn't take much force to break through. The brickwork was crumbling, and although I couldn't dislodge it with my bare hands, I could tell it wouldn't take much force to break through. I needed to know what was on the other side of that wall, and this was a situation that called for some straightforward destruction. It was the opening I'd made with the shovel I was carrying, a porthole to the grim scene within. I didn't need to set fire to that. The skeleton of Yardley Belmore lay slumped against the wall of the alcove. He had been bricked up alive. I examined the skeleton for clues, but only his key seemed of any value. You're free now, Yardley. He can't keep you imprisoned anymore.
I grow weary of your inability to heed my warning, Murphy McCallan. No good shall come from you pursuing this.
I will get to the Belmore treasure before you.
Do you think this is a game, Murphy McCallan? You are toying with things beyond your understanding.
I think you're just nervous that I'm closer to finding the treasure than you are.
You haven't learnt, have you, McCallan? Everything you've done so far has just made the situation worse. Now is the time to back out.
I'll never do that, Rackham. Finding the treasure is more important to me now than it's ever been.
Then I hope it's a cause you're willing to die for. Just as Yardley Belmore was entombed alive, so shall you be.
Rackham's spell had transported me somewhere I couldn't immediately place. I was lying down, my arms pinned to the side of me, my hands only able to feel the grain of the wooden boards to the sides and above and below me. And then I heard the noise. Something thudding on the boards above me. That's when I realized I was being buried alive. I pushed on the coffin lid with all my might, telling myself that an inch of cedar was all that separated me from the night air, but it was no use. By the time I finished drilling my way out with the auger, I'd be under several feet of dirt. That wasn't going to help me escape from the coffin. I could hear shovelfuls of dirt being thrown onto the coffin. I needed to get out before I was buried alive. I fumbled in my pockets and took out the screw jack, bracing it between the floor and the lid. With each crank, the pressure grew and grew, until finally... Hey! Could you get me out of here?
Murphy? What are you doing down there?
Trying to not be down here.
I'll go fetch a ladder. Don't go anywhere.
Where do you think I could go? Before I'd even reached the top of the ladder, Edgar had fled to the safety of his shack, far away from the grave where he'd inadvertently tried to bury me. But one good thing had come out of it. Now I had Yardley's key. It was the ladder that Edgar had carried over to rescue me from the grave. I didn't need to climb back down into the grave. Edgar was inside his shack buried in work. Not literally, of course. Good evening, Edgar.
Murphy. Just the person I was hoping to see. I was walking through the cemetery just before and nearly broke my neck falling into a big old hole I definitely don't remember digging. You wouldn't know anything about it, would you?
A hole? You know, I have seen it. Almost went head over heels into it myself. Are you sure you didn't dig it?
Of course I didn't. And if I didn't, who or what did?
Maybe it was moles? Big ones. Really big ones.
Moles? Yeah, my doctor did say I should keep an eye on them.
I found a way into the sanctuary crypt.
You got yourself in there? I thought that place was closed up tighter than a jar of pickles dipped in superglue.
I certainly did. The pattern on the entrance was a clue to a secret passage from the church.
Well, I'm envious, Murphy. That's the kind of place I can only dream of ending up.
A dank old crypt?
For some, but I see a nice, quiet atmosphere. Plenty of legroom, no nosy neighbors to interrupt your rest. Those skeletons in there don't know how good they have it. It's only us living folk who can actually appreciate it. In my opinion, death's wasted on the dead.
Can you believe you almost buried me alive?
If anybody asks you, that never happened. One word of this gets out, and I'll never be allowed near a coffin again.
I best be running along.
Goodbye.